Now, Viktor is also banned from working with children for a further 2 decades after his release. 2 decades. Wouldn't you think that he'd be banned altogether from working with children? Wouldn't you think that he'd, how can you... I find that very odd. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's really odd to say. That, further, wow. I don't know why I'm surprised. I was surprised when I first read it, and now I'm surprised again. I'm not even sure why I'm surprised again. So yeah, I find that very odd. Anyway, but then again, I believe pedophiles should be sent straight to their death. Usually with the parents holding either the gun or being able to beat them to death. I think that's parents' right. I think that there are so many people out there that I was listening to a podcast yesterday. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It was a new one I found. Anyway, I know it was from the UK. Anyway, and she believes that the death penalty should be taken off the table altogether and that pedophiles shouldn't get life. Now, her reasoning is that the death penalty, there should be room for, improvement. There should be room for them to be educated and to stop doing what they did to get them in there. Louis Theroux did documentaries on these subjects. And look, there was a couple that said that they would never do it again, that they've been rehabilitated and that they'd learnt their lesson, but none of us know that. None of us could ever know that for sure. So what are they going to do? Take a pedophile that has been found guilty, has been proven to have hurt these children. So we take their word for it. We take their word that the rehabilitation worked. So if we take away a life, it's the life sentence is when the non-possibility of parole. I'm ecstatic when that happens, but as you see in most pedophile cases, a lot of them only get a couple of years. They don't get a lot, even on brutal attacks on children. A lot of the time, the sentence never matches the crime. Whether there is a match, I don't know. But I'll never be able to adjust my way of thinking against death penalty. I believe, and I know that if you plead guilty, the death penalty is off the table. Now, I've never understood that. If you plead guilty, you're guilty. You're admitting that you're guilty. Shouldn't you go to death? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about did you do it, And yet, if someone pleads not guilty and is found guilty, they're eligible for the death penalty. It's a little bit backwards to me, but I mean, I have a simple brain, so maybe it does make sense. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know, I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to learn, and I'm always willing and open to listen to others. So let me know what you think about the death penalty and what you think should happen to pedophiles. I think that they should be castrated immediately. I think that's the first thing that needs to happen before anything else. Guilty, castrate. It's a no-brainer. It's like this... There's a guy that was let out. He was a known pedophile and he was let out. Now, pedophiles here aren't allowed to live near anything regarding to children, not primary schools, daycares, And my husband found out, because he would kill anyone. My husband found out that there was a pedophile near my eldest stepdaughters. So it's a little bit a while ago. They're now 23 and 22. But when they were in primary school, he found out that there was a pedophile living behind them. And they were only about 7 houses away from the school. So this idiot that I call husband, he was so worked up, he was so angry that he was drunk when he found out. I'm incriminating him right now, but he was so drunk that he had a HQ Statesman, which is a very heavy car. He drove it around like the idiot he was. If he ever tried drink driving while we weren't together when this happened, by the way. Anyway, he was so angry and so upset and so worried that this person would try and touch his children that he did donuts on the front lawn. He ripped up the entire lawn. And then when the father of this pedophile came out, what the fuck are you doing? Dean, my husband, he was going off. He was telling him, get that fucking pedophile away from my children, our children, the school, get him away. Because if you don't, I'll kill him. Ripped up the lawn some more, contacted the police. He told him what they did. He did. And then 5 days later, there was a for sale sign up on that house. So sometimes you've got to take the law into your own hand, because clearly there wasn't enough reporting going on. Clearly he'd falsified statements saying where he was living. So yeah, after that, I don't know where they went. We don't know where they went. It was many years ago now. But we don't know where these people go when they get out. We don't know what they're going to do. So, castration all the way. Anyway, in the case, Viktor's case, the state prosecutor, Tatiana Filatova, said none of these girls complained because each considered him a father. Some told each other about what had happened, but they were never in a hurry to complain to their mother. The children were taken from an orphanage and none of them wanted to lose their family, so one another. They finally had both a mother and a father. The terrible details came to surface only later. After discussing everything among themselves, one of the girls said that she was not afraid of the father, of Viktor, and that she would tell her foster mother everything. So, as the mother in turn went to the police, end quote. But the fact that he was able to abuse these children for so many years breaks my heart and boggles my mind. But what hurts my heart even more is the fact that these young girls put up with this abuse for so many years because they finally felt like they had a family. They looked up to this monster, and they admitted they did. They looked up to this monster. And all they wanted was a stable home life with both a mother and a father, even if that father was sexually abusing them. I can't grasp this. I'll never be able to. But my heart bleeds for these girls. Because of what he did, so much is going to happen in their lives, in their head. And it's just absolutely heartbreaking. And they didn't go because they wanted to stay out of the orphanage, because orphanages usually don't have a great reputation. So they felt it was the only way to stay out, was to not say anything. So this is a plea from me. If you ever suspect someone is doing something towards a child, look, this is my opinion because I was abused by a family member between the ages of 4 and 10. Long time abuse. But if you even have an inkling, please speak up. Please say something. Because children need to be heard. They need to know that someone's on their side. They need to know that someone loves them enough to go to bat for them. And it's like I said before, it's better to be wrong. It's better and have it investigated. Wrong or right, it is worth it. Well, thank you all for being here with me. Now, if you've listened to others, you'll know that I'm still working on the Taylor McAllister case, the in-between podcasts. But please know that it will be worth the wait. I will be sharing things to the profiles this afternoon because the family have now decided to go ahead and get a expensive attorney, but they're going to need some help with a GoFundMe. So once that's all set up, I will be sure to share it, and it would be really appreciated. If you can't donate, times are tough. We completely understand that. But if you could share, that share could just even get $10. That share could, it could help. So Taylor was 22 when she was murdered, but the police had treated it as a, what do they call it? Suicide. No, not suicide, overdose, sorry. And I've got so much on this case. There is so much. Jail interviews, police interviews, so much wrong with this case, so much wrong. You won't believe your ears. Honest to goodness, you really won't. And if you follow the hashtag Justice for Taylor 22, you will be able to see everything as well. Anytime something goes up on that page, I share it because the parents are absolutely lovely. And Taylor's had baby twin daughters when she died. And they're going to want justice. This was 2016, so they're still very young. So please, if you see it, please hit the share button. That would be really appreciated. So I will see you all again tomorrow. And yeah, thank you for joining. And I will speak to you all soon. Thanks, lovelies.